Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Today I'm going to be talking about the project and portfolio management on Microsoft's Power Platform, where I'm going to demo our pre-configured solution, the TPG ProjectPowerPack. The aim of today is going to be giving a quick overview of the solution at a very high level. So it is going to be very quick today. We only have the 30 minutes, so as not to take up too much of your day. I'll also talk about the 3 off-the-shelf versions of this tool, and we'll draw attention to some of the additions which we've worked on with our customers and some new features to look out for in the future. As I said, it's going to be a fast-paced demo. If you do see something you like, do get in contact if you have any questions or if you'd like a more detailed walkthrough. So, PPM on the Microsoft Power Platform. Well, firstly, what is the Microsoft Power Platform? Again, very high level. It's a powerful set of applications within Microsoft's Dataverse based on a no-code, low-code architecture, which is easily maintainable and extendable, even using customer resources. This is a huge investment area for Microsoft and indeed a huge growth area as well, and it's set to be the cornerstone of Microsoft's business applications architecture for the foreseeable future. Again, at a high level, I'm just going to touch on a few of these here. So Power Automate, where we're going to manage the flow of data and also automate our business processes. Power Apps, where we're going to create a rich, consistent and user-friendly interface through which we can view and interact with the interconnected data. And interconnected data is a key theme throughout this presentation and demo, and I'm going to mention it many, many times. And of course, Power BI, our powerful reporting tool to slice and dice that data that we've got. Power Virtual Agents, not so much actually at the moment, but if you want to explore this with us, then please do get in touch. The thing in the middle then, the Dataverse, so this underpins everything, and we're not just, as I said before, not just storing the data here, but also relating the data together. So we define ahead of time how the data relates to one another, and that gives us such a powerful view and interaction with the data. Project PowerPack then, what is Project PowerPack? Well, it's our off-the-shelf pre-configured solution with a comprehensive set of PPM capabilities. Now, this comes in 3 flavors of scheduling tool to suit your maturity and your aspirations. So firstly, we've got Project for the Web, which is the modern project released recently from Microsoft. We've got TPG Scheduler, and we've got Project Online, of course. So far, there's going to be more coming. I'm not going to say exactly what they are on this call, but certainly if there's something else you guys have got in mind, then please, as I said before, do get in touch. Because this is based on the Power Platform, then this is of course quick to implement as it's our pre-configured solution. So we're talking a matter of days here and not weeks. And it is also a great start to any PPM journey as well, because it can grow with your organization through from the more straightforward projects through to the more complicated and indeed very large traditional projects as well. Important to note that this PPP, Project PowerPack, can also be overlaid on top of existing Project Online implementations. So the Project PowerPack solution capabilities then. So like I said before, the aim of this session is just to give you a flavor of the 3 off-the-shelf solutions that we've just mentioned. And I'm going to focus on the common functionality, and I'm going to talk about the 3 different flavors of scheduling right at the end. So initially then I'm going to touch on project ideas and requests, and this is where we'll get our first look at lifecycle management. Projects and programs, so a project center, if you're familiar with Project Online, and also portfolio management and how they interact with projects and programs. Budget, cost planning, actuals controlling. This is an interesting one. This is certainly an area that here at TPG we're very pleased with. There's some functionality that I'm going to show you which really sets us apart on this one. ERP integration is in there as well. We do have customers who are currently pulling in data from SAP. Resource and capacity planning, request commitments. So I'm going to cover that as well. And this is an interesting one too. We've got collaboration, documents, risks, issues, and change requests. Now I've got a little picture of the Teams icon down here as well. Now PPP does integrate with Teams. I'm not going to show that today, but just to say that it does integrate with Teams, and we have a few customers that are using that currently. goals, objectives, business case, stakeholders, etc. So a number of different bits of metadata that we want to hold along with our projects. And again, I'll cover those very, very briefly. And of course, we will take a quick look at the reporting as well. So there's a comprehensive set of reports, Power BI reports that come along with this pre-configured solution. And as I said, I will then touch on the scheduling piece, the 3 different solutions near the end. Licensing, I'm not going to dwell on this. The key take home, I think, here is that you're going to need a Power BI Pro license. You're going to need a Power Apps license of some sort, whether it be the per user or per app user license. And if you're going for project for the web variation, you will need a project plan 1. If you're going for the project online variation, you'll need a project plan 3. And the TPG scheduler comes as part of the TPG scheduler PPB version. So the bit you've all been waiting for was the live demo. So what you see before you then is the Project PowerPack. Now it's accessed by using a link in your browser, and this is a model-driven app. Now the landing page that we've got at the moment is our dashboard. So this is straight away, you're into Power BI as well as Power Apps, looking at your requests by state, active projects, and starting to pull that data out from the Dataverse into a reporting output. Now, this next My Work page is where we start to see where everything is linked. Again, this is a common theme that I'm going to mention as we go through. As well, this is our first look at the interface, and it's a key thing to mention here that the interface is very quick to learn. So we find that actually typically training times are very short for this product, this solution, sorry. So users get up to speed very, very quickly, partly because of the simplicity and the way it flows between the different screens, and just the user interface is just so easy and quick to pick up. So for example, here I've got My Work. I can start to see immediately all the things that relate to me. So my active projects in the system, my active risks, my active issues. Now, traditionally in other tools, I might have to go to find the project if I want to update something. So I might have to go and find my project online project here, or my project online migration project. I might have had to go to a project center and go and grab it from there. But here it's all surfaced for me on the front page, and I can simply click on that, and then I can update the information as I need to do that. So can update that nice and easily, and then I'm back on this front page here as well. Now, what's really good about this interface is the fact that my active risks is here, and I can also hit new here as well. So again, I haven't got to go to my project in order to update a risk. I haven't got to go there to create a risk either. So if I've just spoken to my project team and I need to create a risk really quickly, I can simply hit, or a number of risks indeed, I can just hit that button and come in, and I can go for webinar risk 3, for example. The project now, I can select which project that relates to. So I'm going to go for my PPM implementation project again, and I'm going to assign it to myself so it shows up in my my risks, some due dates and things like that. Again, all of this configurable, easy to use, very quick to pick up. Okay, so like I said, everything is linked in here, so it's very quick and easy to come through and get to the bits of data that you want to see. Okay. So project requests then, which we mentioned a minute ago. So this is where we create our project requests. We can hit new at the top, and even though we're short on time, I am actually going to create a record here, put some details in here, requested by me. Now I'm taking the time to create this record because this is our first look at the project lifecycle piece as well. So we can see here that there is a very short lifecycle of new request and request approval as well. So if I just save that, I can then see, okay, what information do I actually need to fill in before I can move it along to the next stage. So not only do I see what information that I need to fill in, I can also fill it in at the top here as well. So again, that interface is really coming into its own here. So if I click there, you see that it's populated it down in the list. Estimated cost, I'm just going to move that along. So because I have many hats in this solution, I have the admin privileges, etc. I do have all the ability to move this along and indeed approve it as well. clearly that can be defined by the organization. So I've just approved that record. So hopefully now we're going to have a webinar demo 3 project appear in the system very shortly. Where that will hopefully arrive in a second is going to be in this page here, which is our projects. Those of you that may be familiar with Projects Online are similar to the Project Center. I can pull in any kind of information here that I want to in terms of the columns, and I can create a number of different views as well, as far as both filtering and, like I said, the columns as well. So for example, I think I've got some inactive projects in here. Yeah, I've got one inactive project, but again, this is the off-the-shelf configuration. It can be tweaked to your needs, and we can see there actually as well, we've got our webinar demo at the bottom, which is good. So that's come through, the request got approved, and that's just popped into the list here. So right, one thing that's quite useful as well, again, I'm going to say it many more times throughout this, we have our data which is all linked together. So this record here, this project originated as a project request, and I can come here to my project request and I can click on that, and I can go all the way back to my project request. That record is still there. I can still refer to that record if I want to. So that's a really nice thing about this system. So I'm now going to start talking a little bit about the programs and portfolios as well. So again, one of the great things about this system, everything is related. What I can do in here, so I've got my programs and my portfolios. I can select my program in this drop-down list, and that's great, and I can then save that record in here. What I can then do is go into my programs. This is where we start to aggregate up the data. Again, this can be configured. We've got some roll-ups here of the program budget. Some metadata to be held along with that program that we can enter easily. And then we can see the projects as well. We've got our webinar demo 1 that I just had in there. Again, same kind of thing here with portfolios. We've got our Centauri portfolio. We've got some metadata that we're going to hold along here as well. And then we click on our projects and we can start to see, again, for this particular portfolio, we've got some data pulled up that we might want to see, current states, overall KPIs, etc. Now, I removed that webinar project that you saw a second ago, so it's no longer part of this portfolio. But if I wanted to, if I was coming in from that top-down approach and wanted to add an existing project to my portfolio, I can simply come in here and I can grab that project. So webinar demo 1, as an example here, I'm going to pull that into my portfolio, and again, it started to pull that data in straight away as well. So I think the key take home here, talking about the portfolio, the programs, the projects, it's all very quick and easy to understand. The interface is very quick and easy to update things and record data as you go along as well. So I think that was everything I wanted to mention on portfolios and programs. So I'm going to then delve into our projects. So again, I'm going to scoot over schedules for now. I will come back to that near the end. I'm going to go for resource planning. Now, this, as I said before, is one of the key things that really sets this solution apart. We have our Excel-like grid for our high-level resource planning, and we can also see that one of the new features that we've got is to have a red, amber, green highlight, and also some data being pulled through to find out what that's actually telling us. So for example here, I'd like to have 2 days of Florian's time on my particular project. I can see that that's going to be a problem in January, not in February, and we can see the red, amber, green there. So if I hover over, we can see the availability for Florian and the other projects that he's working on, or the work for the other projects that he's working on. Like I said, this is an Excel style interface. So I've got my 2 days worth of time there. I can then drag that across, and I can see that, that's been pulled across. Oh, but there is going to be an issue here with this 2 days that I've asked for Florian's time in the system. Again, everything in here is linked together. I can come at this from this bottom-up approach, and I can request those resources, but I can also go and see my resources over on this left-hand side as well. This now is the resource planning for the entire system, or this entire environment here. So we can see all the projects and all the resources that have been requested on here. And again, we've got our nice red, amber, green highlights as well. So there's a lot of information on this screen, and but what's really great about this tool, like I said, it's one of the things that our customers absolutely love and really sets the solution apart, is the fact that this is so easy to find and to slice and dice and to do what you need to do. So for example, I'm going to grab the resource name. I'm going to then group by the resource name. So I've now got everything grouped by resource, and I can have a look at Florian here, and I can see what other things that he's working on in this system. Now, I've decided here from my top-down approach that actually he's not going to be able to do this work, so I'm going to say the 0 for that one. I'm actually not confident he's going to be able to do that as well, so I'm going to do that, flip those back to 0, and in a second we're going to go back into the project and see how that looks. Again, this is really easy, nice and easy to move around and do whatever it is I need to do with this. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the project then. We're going to see, as again, everything is linked in here. So we can see there was the noughts and the nought that I just added from that top-down approach. Now, financials then, similar situation here with this Excel style planning grid. We've got the ability to add a number of different cost types in here. So budgets, forecast actuals, of course, those drop downs are configurable, cost categories and other things as well. Again, what we can do if we have our sort of 4,000 in here, we can drag this across, and again, it's going to update this for us. I might make one of these a bit lower actually, just so we can see in a second. So again, really quick, easy interface, straightforward. I can add new rows if I want to as well. And also what I can do with this is I can view a little graph at the bottom, which is quite useful. So if you have imagine you have a whole lot of different costs in here, you can then see those come into the bottom graph as well. One thing also quite important to note is that here is where we can pull in information from ERP systems as well. And like I said to you before, we have some customers who are currently pulling SAP data in. So we have a whole number of other tabs in here, and I'm going to cover these very, very quickly as we are short on time. But effectively, we have a number of different tabs where we can create a lot of records in here which are relevant to the projects and that we want to record as part of that project management. So we can come in here, easily add information, required fields. I need to submit it to someone. Let's have myself. Again, so we've got some required fields in there. Again, it's configurable. So yeah, we can go through, add the status updates in here, and of course anything that we have in any one of these lists, I will briefly scoot through them in a second, we can of course report on as well. So in our status report then, we can see that we have some Power BI reports in the middle of our project as well. So anything that we need to be reporting, we can access that data in the background and we can pull into this system and slice and dice through our Power BI interface. I will touch on those other reports in the system briefly as well in a bit. Risks is a good one. We've touched on the risks up from that top level before. As you can see, we've got some webinar risks in here already. I won't go into too much detail other than to say we've got a risk matrix here as well, which is quite neat. So giving us the likelihood and the consequence, and of course filtering down as well, because I'm sure a lot of projects have more risks than I've got here. Issues then, we have the ability to add our issues in. Changes, actions I will come to shortly because that is very different. Decisions, stakeholders, objectives, benefits, etc. All lists, all configurable. Again, we can pull that data into the system very, very quickly and access it if we needed to. We could surface that at the My Work area at the top if that's something that gets updated regularly. So documents, I will briefly mention this as well, that we can hook up our SharePoint environments, and we can hook up, if you are using the Teams integration, we can use the Teams file document libraries there as well. Now actions, this is a great one. Again, this is one of the things that our our customers really love. Again, something that sets this solution apart from the others. We have our Kanban view of data in the system. So with the pre-configured solutions, it's the Kanban is currently set up in Actions. In theory, it's possible to apply it to anything. So if we wanted to apply that to other elements of the system, we can do that as well. But you can see here, if I create a new task, and I can then start to move these items around between the different Kanban areas. Now, as I said before, the data is all linked in the background. So what I can also do is I can come to my Actions piece, and I can see all of the actions across my entire portfolio if I wish to. And I've also got my webinar actions and my new tasks that I can move around here as well. And you'll see that if I move, I duplicated it there, I've got 2 tasks now completed. If I were to go back to my project, you will see again, everything is linked. So those have been moved as well. So just come back in there. Again, what we can do is we can link this to the other tables in the system if that makes more sense. I'm going to now touch briefly on the comprehensive reporting pack. I think we've got over 40 tabs, I think it is, pulling information out of the system. So we'll start with the request piece. Again, I'm not going to go into detail here. There's just simply not enough time. If you do have questions or want to see them in more detail, please get in contact and we can do a demo in more detail. So the requests piece here that we started off the demo with, we can report out, and as you know, with Power BI, we can slice and dice that information. And if I wanted to, I could also click on this and it would take me back through to that project. Portfolio, now we're starting to surface and starting to aggregate some of that data that we've got in our projects. And we can start to see those again, the different portfolios, different programs, different project states. Again, I can slice and dice by clicking on those. And again, clicking on the project number will take me through to that project. There's a whole host of different reports in here, from the schedule to the financials to the work. And again, there's not enough time, unfortunately, to cover these in detail now. Project, if I wanted to come in and see the specific project report, I can come in and see this was the one that we saw in the project itself. If you don't want to go and find the project specifically, you can come into this report and you can filter and get the information you need there. And of course, a very important one is going to be the resource piece as well. So all those resources that we were adding into the system a minute ago, we can aggregate those up. We can see where the actuals are coming to the system and all that good stuff as well. Okay, now I'm going to cover the different flavors of scheduling. So this now is going to be the project for the web version of the PPP ProjectPowerPack tool. So Project for the Web is a modern, easy to use project management app, which is, again, it's the newest offering from Microsoft from a scheduling perspective, and it's really easy to use. The interface is really slick, really good looking, and it's ideal for project managers who are managing projects but maybe aren't necessarily formally trained as project managers. Like I said, the interface here is really good, really easy. I'm going to briefly display that. We've got the different grids, the different views here. We've got grid, board, timeline. Grid is simply, you're going to create your WBS structure, your list of tasks, going to give some durations and things like that. You can add some columns in here, but unfortunately we don't have the ability to add in enterprise custom fields, so we can't report on new fields that we add in here. One thing we have done though is we pulled out key milestones. As you can see, I've got a phase 1 complete, 0 days. Got key milestones here, phase 1 complete. I can then tag that information in that way with maybe a payment milestone if we need to. This is really neat. We've got the board view of the data as well. So we've just added those tasks into the system. We can create some buckets and start to move these things around. And then we have the timeline as well, where we can really easily set the dependencies and see how that project is being built. Okay. Now, we had a number of requests from our customers to say that this is absolutely great, but there's some functionality that we really need, and we really need it right now. So what we've done is we've created a middle ground between the project for the web functionality and the project online functionality, and we have created TPG Scheduler, which I think is best illustrated by this particular project here. And again, with all of this, we are continuously improving these solutions, adding more features. But the key thing here is that actually a number of our customers really like the classic look. So they really like the look of this and how this is pulled together is maybe more traditional than we've seen before. As far as custom fields go, we can now start to add in enterprise custom fields, so things that we can report on. We can add that into the interface here as well. Again, new features coming. There are icons and other good things as well to help show where there are payment milestones, customer milestones, etc. Baselining is something that we do in here again, and that's all included as part of the TPG scheduler solution. So we can show our baselines, set our baselines, and other good things like that. And then finally, we have our project online. And apologies, this may be a little bit small for you to see, but what I've got here in this particular flavor of the solution is our project for the web and our project online projects living together in the same system. So I can come into a project online project and I can hit my button here and I can open that in MS Project. So it's now going to fire open in my desktop. And then I've got all the wonderful functions that we are used to having with projects online, with projects on premise, or even just project online desktop, project desktop client. We've got that real kind of traditional, full functional scheduling piece as well. Okay, so that was a very, very brief demo of the systems or the solutions there. And just to kind of summarize then, we've got the Project PowerPack, which is incorporating all the functionality that our customers need for their PPM needs. Extensive reporting pack, as I've briefly touched on, as I said before, over 40, I think it is, tabs that we've got in there, and of course 3 flavors of scheduling, which cater from everything, from really basic stuff to traditional large-scale projects. If you've got any questions, then the information is there in front of you. Please do get in contact with us. Look at our YouTube channel as well. And I've just seen we've got a question. I think we are coming to time now, but I'll briefly answer a question. So team members updating task status. So yeah, that's something that depending on which version that you're going for, the different flavors of scheduling that you're going for, the project has a team, and that team gives the users the permissions to go in and edit those tasks. So again, depending on which solution you've got, it's very, very easy and straightforward for those users to navigate around the solution, find the tasks that they're assigned to and due to give status on, and can do that very easily and simply. Okay, well, thank you very much. And like I said before, please do get in contact with us. If you've got any questions or want a more thorough demo, you can contact us at the UK office here, or please do get in contact with your local office if that suits.